Digitalization and inclusive digital space is quite crucial for the society.
The internet, digital platforms, mobile phones, digital financial services, all of that, all things digital, help provide sort of like a leapfrog opportunity for everyone. And it can help bridge the gap that exists between women and men in the society to help women especially earn additional income, increase their employment opportunities, provide access to information and knowledge in general. And this is why we need to seize the opportunity to create better gender equality in the labor market.
For such a powerful tool, which is not just going to define the moment, the present situation, it is going to actually have a cascading effect to the future. I mean, how we move forward, how we bring people out of poverty, all of those germane socio-economic issues are part of digitalization or issues that we are going to resolve in that space.
Gender equality is not just a human right, but it's a keystone for a prosperous modern society.
Well, we can argue that the whole continent has the issue of inclusion in the digital space. Women are more affected.
Given that the world is a technological world, everything is going digital, everything is going global, it's very important to address this because women are being shortchanged in engaging with the world out there.
I think one part of that story is the fact that the distribution of economic pile in Africa has been due to power, due to cultural factors, due to past economic inequality.
The bulk of the problem is around addressing digital gender divide and ensuring that all efforts to deepen access, to connect the unconnected, take into cognizance this peculiar issue that women face.
In the digital space, women are far left behind because research shows that about 20% of women are less likely to have a mobile phone, a smartphone. And we all know that the world has gone digital.
We need to actually understand the root cause of why people are excluded. In the women case, the problem in most cases emanated from cultural and also from the economic system that have excluded women in the past. So for example, if women are to rely on their husband to buy phone, if they need to actually rely on them to buy data, to come online. So all those are exclusion barriers, are constraints.
It's important to educate women from the grassroots level. Women in the rural areas that do not have access to mobile phones can't even do online banking. So we can see financial exclusion of those women because they struggle more with the whole naira scarcity and are unable to do transactions when necessary for their well-being and upkeep.
We need to reach out to rural women. Policy must be targeted at rural women for the purpose of educating them and for the purpose of also empowering them.
We need to start encouraging women from when they are girls and showing them that there is a possibility to have careers in the technological space.
There is a bill currently in the National Assembly, which I would ask policymakers to look into, the Digital Rights and Freedom Bill, talking about how policymakers can make it easier for women to benefit from digital technology.
So when women are well educated, when women have access to job opportunities, economic opportunities, and entrepreneurial opportunities, you can see that translating into economic growth within a society.
It's also very important to mainstream digital security conversation into this, because even if you have devices, even if you have access to the internet, if you have access to digital platforms, you do have a responsibility to make sure that you are digitally secured, because there are actors online that don't mean well. It's not everybody online that means well.
It's also important to educate women on how to use such tools, because we've seen a rise in what we call online gender-based violence. So things like cyberbullying, cyber stalking, harassment, online harassment,
when the female gender comes online? Is she bullied? Is she told about what she can say and what she cannot say? Take for example, the schools where we teach. The students, you give her a task, she should go online and do this and do that. You will say, well, how can she go online and ask this question? Because there's that fear, there's that drawback.
So it's very important for us to educate women and educate the girl child on how they can identify maybe a phishing email, someone that wants to steal their identity or steal some of their credentials online.
You see, when you train a woman, you train a nation. The world will become better for it.
Women are more likely to experience violence online in a way that men are not. Equity online would be providing interventions that help them specifically to feel safe.
Policy conversations are coming up. So in 2015, for example, there's a Cyber Crimes Act that was introduced, which was supposed to address some of the issues that affect women in terms of their participation in the digital world.
A lot of the women who are online, who have experienced online gender-based violence, once having experienced this, do not know where to go, do not know what to do. This is another gap that research can cover. Let women know where to go, what to do. It also incentivizes people, stakeholders to assist, take it more seriously. Those who donate and give funding for these sorts of projects are able to see the figures, know that there is a huge problem in this area, and are able to provide interventions for these women. But unfortunately, without these numbers, we've definitely found ourselves behind.
We need better data governance. What we mean by data governance is approaches that tends to ensure we maximize the benefit from digitalization while we minimize the threats. Some of that threats in terms of online abuses, online-based gender violence, we need to actually ask the question, to what extent is this? And that's one rule for research. If we identify both the extent, the pattern, and the actors in this space, and what are they driving at, I think it will enable us to shape policy.
Government needs to be more visible in advocating on these issues. Most of the work that have been done by multilateral institutions and maybe civil society organizations, because government has to be more conscious about it to mainstream it into policy conversation and as part of policy priorities.
An ideal world would be one where online gender-based violence, for instance, did not exist. An ideal world would be one where there was no digital divide. But unfortunately, due to human nature, these things do exist. So the next best thing would be immediate, accessible solutions to these problems as they come up.
We can also, make the case for asking policymakers to make specific laws, regulations that seek to protect and guarantee the rights that citizens have, and by extension, women have to engage, online, but also to pay a lot of attention to women issues from women's perspective.
Addressing these barriers to digital skills for all, I propose that both genders should be given equal opportunity to learn, equal opportunity to achieve what they want to achieve.
So it is important that women are well educated in the digital space so that they can function properly in the society.
I'm looking to a space where girls will metamorphose into women, that are reliable, women that have access to opportunity, women that are leaders in their space. They have access to digital skills. They can stand on their own. So I'm using this medium to wish everyone Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day to all.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day to everyone, and I hope we are able to achieve a fair and equal world for everyone.